morning, Coal City. Many thanks for joining us on the second discussion segment of our breakfast show, The Spotlight, this morning. And on the Spotlight is conducting local government elections. We're looking at the issues, okay, the whole hog, believing that it will be handled right here on the show. And to have that conversation with us are two NSEC commissioners. By NSEC, I mean Enugu State Independent Electoral Commission. We have Honorable Solomon Ude. Thanks for joining us,
Thank
Honorable.
you very much.
We also have another commissioner, Honorable Arthur Eze. Arthur Ede. Welcome, Arthur.
Thank you.
Right away, we are on this conversation. My name is Ngozeka Mba, and I'm doing this with Chioma. Hi, Chioma.
Hi, my name is Chioma Agulana. Welcome back to Good Morning, Coal City.
While INEC conducts elections or, into the office of the president, the governors, and various assemblies, the states and the national assemblies, states independent electoral commissions are charged with conducting elections at the local councils. Enugu State was getting set for the local government elections before the autonomy that sped things up happened. And so I want to start with you, Honorable Solomon Ude. Is NSEC prepared for the local government election that you have already told us will happen on October 5th?
Well, I welcome you to the program. Just like you earlier said that Enugu State and NSEC had already braced up for the election even before the autonomy from the National Assembly. So in that regard, I will tell you we were even sufficiently prepared even before the autonomy came on board. So my answer is that we are sufficiently prepared for the forthcoming local government election.
The very first step would be what, Honorable Arthur?
The very first step, we have moved on monitoring and observing the party primaries, and many more are coming in. Like we had some of them experience some challenges. That was why we shifted the date.
Some of them, you mean political parties?
Yes, on the political parties, because based on the time we gave before 12th of August, which is supposed to be the deadline, we shifted it to 19th.
Deadline
for all the political party primaries.
Okay.
So we shifted it to 19 to allow all the political parties the space to conduct their primary, because we want to make sure that local government election in Enugu State is all inclusive. You know, we want all the political parties to have the opportunity to participate so that we can have a credible, free and fair election where the leader by the people's choice is well elected. So we are prepared.
Honorable Solomon, how far so far with the primaries? It's just 3 days to the deadline.
Just like my colleague have said, in Enugu State, I think we're very sensitive when it comes to, trying to ensure that everybody is carried along as it concerns all political parties. If you recall, recently we had a discussion about the ongoing nationwide strike. We felt that would debar some political parties from meeting their initial time lag. So what did we do? In our wisdom, we said, okay, let's do some little, even if when it's not convenient for the commission, we had to
Was it the strike or the protest now?
the protest, but of course, because if you recall, the movement, people were not certain, their safety were not certain, even if His Excellency the Governor provided sufficient security in the entire Enugu State, because we personally were coming to work and a whole bunch of the people in the state were also coming to work. So, but of course, a lot of people perceive things, risks are perceived differently. So it might stop some people. So we didn't want anybody to be disenfranchised in any way. So what we did was to create that allowance that would extend even after the protest, so that everybody will be sufficiently accommodated in the program. So, and that's exactly what we did. And for what we have done so far, we have monitored some of the political parties that have done theirs, and a lot of other ones are still springing up.
How many parties are we looking at here?
We are looking
For
at
the
for the
election.
local government election. The number of political parties that have indicated interest for the local government election are 19 in numbers. 19 political parties.
Wow.
So
That's a
it-
whole lot.
Yeah, sure. It goes a long way to tell you that there's an increased awareness when it comes to political happenings in the state. People are encouraged to join and be part of the decision making. Not that they complain about government, and they also are encouraging people now to join and be a part of the decision making process. So little wonder you're seeing the amount of political parties that are springing up to participate in this local government election.
All right, Honorable Otto, I want to ask here, in preparations for the local government elections, I know that election materials are getting put in place, yes? Now, some of the challenges we've had in the past is the fact that there are irregularities in handling the election materials. Okay, so what measures have you put in place to keep this from happening this time around?
The measures we have taken is large. It's not something I'll begin to count one by one here, but I want to let you know that NSEC of today is a different body of NSEC coming up from integrity. So we are prepared to be fair to every political party. It's going to be a credible election, and the people's choice must emerge. So there's no shortchanging of candidate from the political parties if that person is qualified and the due process are followed for their primaries. And I'm telling you that there is no room for any kind of rigging. We are going to conduct an election that is credible, free, and fair. So NSEC of today is a different body of NSEC. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry,
going-
in addition to what my colleague just said, my sister here just asked what are the measures we've put in place to ensure the handling of materials, which has been a subject of controversy before now. Well, to that extent, one of the measures we've put in place is, when it comes to materials for the conduct of election, we have both the sensitive and the non-sensitive materials. So one of the measures we put in place is that in the production of the sensitive material, it is done absolutely outside the state, where nobody that has any connection whatsoever with any political party or anybody that is perceived to be in government. This contract is given out entirely. It must not be done in the state where we may be experiencing some sort of loophole. So I think it's sufficient measure enough to have been taken to ensure or to forestall any eventuality where they will say this document leaked, and to that extent this time around there won't be anything like that. It's an assurance.
Okay, going back to the primaries in preparation to the time of the election proper, I will ask Honorable Ato at this point. You are also part of the monitoring, okay? So how has it been going so far? Considering internal politics, because
Yeah.
if it plays out there negatively, you would have experienced it.
Yeah, of course, the monitoring has been smooth and hitch-free, even though we expect the normal political bickering here and there. But
Internal
political bickering,
among parties.
yes, among parties. So we have gone to the Labour Party primaries, we have gone to PDP primaries, and many more are coming up. But the ones we have gone so far, it was a hitch-free exercise. And where the political parties in some quarters have a consensus candidate, where they elected somebody unopposed, it makes it very simple for us. So from the exercise we
It's
experienced,
acceptable, right? Consensus candidate.
yeah, I think it's acceptable. It is the will of the people to come together and agree on a candidate.
By people, you mean party members?
Yeah, the party members, the delegates.
The
If they
delegates.
agree on a candidate, they have the right to say we don't have to go to war, because going for political elections is like going to war with some voters. So to avoid that, if there is a consensus agreement to have a candidate, then so be it. So we have experienced that in these few places we have gone, and I believe the people are beginning to understand that politics is not a do or die affair, and we expect other political parties that are still going to conduct their primaries
You have
to
like
take
how many
examples
left?
from. Yeah?
You have like how many left? It's just 3 days away.
Yeah, we still have up to 15.
Left.
Yeah,
And it's just 3 days away.
Yeah,
You think they will still participate in the
of
election
course they
of
will.
course.
and beat the deadline?
Yes,
Of
because
course.
let me tell you how this will happen. Every political party has already scheduled the timing for their primaries.
And there won't be any clash.
And they have sufficiently also written to the commission about their intention to be a part of the political parties. So if they don't show up for their primaries, then I don't think we as a commission will be faulted, because we already received their letter indicating interest to be a participant in the forthcoming election. So it is assumed most of them, I think most of them, their time is clashing. So, but what we'll do is to, create a kind of division of level. Every political party are given equal opportunity and given fair playing ground, so that nobody will complain in the nearest future that they were not part of it. So, like I said, government is not something that has to do with, word of mouth. There are documentations to prove to the fact that we had letters, from them, from all the political parties that intended to participate, that they will be a part of the election. And that letter is sufficiently there. And if there are any issues that is coming up, of course, we will know how to handle it. Document speaks for themselves. So if they don't show up, we wouldn't, of course, go to various people's home or go to various political parties to plead with them to come and participate. So to that extent, I think we're still waiting on them to come, and I hope they do.
All right.
The
talking
last
about
time
okay,
the
go on.
chairman of Enugu State Independent Electoral Commission, Professor C.C. Mbu, was here, he talked to us. He confirmed actually, or affirmed, the Enugu State government stand on ensuring that there's contribution, financial contribution from every political parties to the running of NSEC. Is that happening?
No.
Because at the time it has not started happening.
No, that's not happened. Like I said, His Excellency the Governor, in his wisdom, had told the Commission, please, we would not, them as a government, would want to, like, in the spirit of giving everybody equal playing ground. If you request money from political parties to run NSEC, it's a ground for not just litigation, but it's also a ground for people to start, bantering that, that they are not given level playing ground. There are big political parties and there are small political parties. So in the wisdom of His Excellency, what he did was to expunge everything that has to do with financing by any political party. It has been given as a strict instruction that no political party should be allowed or collected money from. So, in the spirit of fair, level playing ground for all political parties, nobody, I can assure you with every level of certainty, nobody that the Commission will collect money from as far as this election is concerned. Everybody will be given free funds.
Which translates to the state government still funding NSEC.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Chairman.
Now talking about the local government elections, there are calls for a creation of another electoral body to conduct elections at the local government levels. As we speak, is actually one of the bills being passed. It hasn't gotten to the final level, but it's actually ongoing at this point. Now I'm wondering, when that happens, if it comes to be, where does that leave NSEC when it comes to local government elections?
Yeah, well, I in our morning prayers, if I pray, I say, God, please give us our daily bread. So I'm still talking about today. I wouldn't want to preempt what would happen. I might not even be in NSEC.
All the time that will happen.
That will happen. So
Yeah.
you don't expect me to start preempting what will happen at that material point in time. So for me, as far as I still have the job I'm doing, I think I will judiciously face the job and do it until such a time when my services will not be needed, and I'll know my next line of action.
Alright, Mr. Otter, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was trying to say, when we get to the bridge, we cross it. I think our responsibility now is 2024 local government election, which is coming up on October 5th. So whatever is happening at the National Assembly with the presidency is not an issue to be troubled about now. You know, we have a lot of responsibility to make sure that election of October 5th is credible, fair, and free. You know, so the issue of INEC trying to conduct or conducting local government election is not a matter to worry about now.
You
Until
have
we
an
get there.
assignment,
You have an
and now your
assignment.
We have an
assignment
assignment
is
for now.
Phase.
That is
Alright.
our focus.
All right,
Okay.
Honorable Arthur, I don't know. There's been calls in the past that election or campaign funds are being monitored. Is it part of the assignment that has been on that is on the schedule of the NSEC to monitor campaign funds and all?
No, I don't think that should be our responsibility. That's an internal party affairs. So it's left for the party. Our own is give us candidates and we'll go and conduct elections for you. We have our own guidelines. It's not part of our guidelines.
Now,
Alright.
another issue here is about candidate replacement. If perchance a candidate steps down or a party disqualifies a candidate, or for whatever reason there would be need to replace a candidate, how does that play out? Honorable Solomon.
Well, the replacement of candidate is part of the electioneering process. If, for instance, like we recently just told you that we are monitoring primary elections, and it is ongoing, and by 17th of this month, we will be due with the monitoring of party primaries. Now, if after a candidate has been elected by a political party to be their flag bearer, and for the reason of, sometimes maybe act of God, somebody dies, of course the political party have the chance of replacing such an individual who is dead, or if during the time for the screening it's found out that the candidate so chosen has violated any portion of the Electoral Act, it's a ground for disqualification. And of course, they have a time for replacement of candidates. If for any reason a candidate so chosen submits a fraudulent document to the commission, at any point in time the commission finds out about this situation, such a candidate would automatically be disqualified, and the political party would have an opportunity to feed another candidate. So there are various grounds for disqualification, but of course the commission has also created that allowance so that if there are candidates that are disqualified in the process, then they will have a chance to make a replacement. So that's that about replacement of candidates.
Now we're still talking about the election at local government levels. At this point, local governments are getting the required attention. Like, this is the first time in a while that they're getting this sort of attention. So this also calls for more hands when it comes to the election, the staff, the people who will be sent to that area. But that's just not what I'm focusing on right now. There are reports of staff, taking the sheets, and at this point, till it got to that place, everything was okay. But then there's also a situation where they are caught in different rooms manipulating the results. I don't know if you have taken a good look at the people who will be representing you on that day. Have they gone through the necessary trainings? And there are consequences if they are ever caught, because we hear about the crime, but we never get to hear about the steps taken against them. So this time around, what have you done differently to ensure that this doesn't happen again?
Well, you know, I've been in the commission for some time now, and I don't think I've seen a situation where people help, staffs help, NSEC staff help in manipulating results. I've never seen that. You know, sometimes when it comes to some political parties making unfounded claims, I'm not in support of anybody, but then, situations like this, people sit in the comfort of their home, type anything they like, and send out to the media space, and people, gullible people also, consume this information without even making sufficient inquiries. Having said that, when it comes to ensuring that such situations are entirely expunged, now it leads me to security. Security in the sense that if you look at the situations in Enugu State where my job function restricts me to, you will see that His Excellency the Governor in his wisdom have done marvelously well in terms of security. And this security would not slow down during the election. It will only but triple during the election period. So from the time of escorting both the sensitive and non-sensitive materials from the headquarters to their various destinations, there are plans in place to ensure that these materials are moved from point A to point Z, under the supervision of security agencies. And currently, we are in serious collaboration with all the security architecture in the state. The DSS, the police, the military, the Air Force, we're all together and we're working assiduously to ensure that at the end of the process, this election will be adjourned one of the most freest, fairest election ever conducted by Enugu State Independent Electoral Commission. But of course, it's a continuous process. We learn every day. There are hitches which we may have noticed in the last election cycle, and it's the onus falls heavily on us to ensure that we forestall such.
You may talk about those hitches now.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
some of the hitches we may have experienced in the past is, some of the ad hoc staff usually comes from the ad hoc staff. So one of the measures we are taking now is very soon we'll go on air to ensure that we'll call for application for those people that wants to participate in the ad hoc work of NSEC, and ensure that we will train them sufficiently enough to know what they are doing. And subsequently, we'll also let you know any job that is assigned to you that is not properly done, it comes with a punishment.
That's where I was headed.
Yeah, it comes with a punishment because we cannot, waste resources, train you so that you exhibit or carry out a particular job, and you go outside what your training is. So if anybody is found wanting, the commission is putting up a couple of measures to forestall that, but at the same time we're also ensuring that anybody that is found wanting, be you an ad hoc staff, be you a staff of the commission, you will be definitely chastised. You will not go unpunished.
So it won't be business as usual.
Not
That's
at all.
Okay, at this point, we will be inviting our listener to join the conversation. And the numbers to call if you are interested in this discussion are 0907 275 9950, 0907 275 9950, or you call 0706 815 8029, 0706 815 8029. Conducting local government election issues is our focus on the spotlight this morning on ESBS Sunrise FM 96.1. We will return to the elections proper, but at this point, let's dwell on the preparations to the election time. You talked about going on air to call for ad hoc staff, but there are other issues that you could go on air, that you could go to the media space with, and use other means to disseminate, and they are should come under sensitization. How much sensitization is out there to educate the people, on one hand, for this election, the need to participate, and some sort of encouragement out there, and most especially taking this sensitization to the grassroots where these elections will actually hold. I mean, in Enugu State, for instance, for local government, we have just about 3 in the metropolis. The rest are in the hinterland. How much sensitization is out there? Honorable Arthur.
Okay, the sensitization program is gradually ongoing, and like he said, my colleague said that we are going to go on air very soon to, make an announcement for those who are interested to work as ad hoc staffs. And once we bring them in, we are going to sensitize them, and as well as move into the rural areas, the political wards. We have 260, and we have about 1,400 and something polling units in Enugu. So we are going to go to those places to make sure we engage with the stakeholders, engage with the rural people, and all the parties involved in this coming election. So the sensitization is going to be very okay. We'll make sure that we don't have any room where anybody will hang on to say we are not properly informed of this or that. And like we are talking about our ad hoc staff, so you don't just employ people without educating them, you must educate them.
Especially when it has not been their area.
Yes, you must educate them. So we have plans for that. We have started already, but we are moving with a bigger speed, in time from now.
Honorable Solomon, you may need to throw more light on this sensitization issue. During the general election, there's serious awareness about the need to register, to pick up your voter card. At this point, don't you think, consider it necessary that some persons who, because it is still on record that quite a number of voter cards are yet to be picked up. Do you think it's right to actually sensitize the people to pick up their voter card, assuming they are yet to pick that up?
Yeah, of course, one of the things we do as a commission is also to sensitize the people, especially the electorate, about the need for them to be part of that decision making. We preach this in times without number. If there are things you think your leaders are doing, I think the electioneering period is the opportunity for you to return somebody that is doing well, or to throw out somebody that's not doing well. We preach this all the time.
And by throwing them out?
And by throwing them out, you return somebody that is credible, that you perceive
through your vote.
Through your vote. You throw them out, you bring in people you perceive that will do the work for you. And if the person, they said the reward for a good work is more work. So for me, part of the duties of the commission is also to encourage people. You understand? Also, that encouragement can also extend by our own conduct. If we are open enough to tell people this is what is going on, you carry everybody along, they will be much more interested to come on board and be part of the process. And that's exactly what we're doing. When it comes to sensitization, first of all, I would like to express that election is not just an event that happens in a day. It's a process, an entire process. So, we start our sensitization. First step in the right direction we took was the printing of the official gazette, which we have sufficiently shared around the state, where people see what the people that are qualified, the timing of every program that will be done, so people are aware. if some political parties are not aware about our timing, they probably wouldn't be doing their primaries right now. So we sufficiently provided information for
But the election
everybody.
is not just about the political parties.
That's what I'm saying. I'm still coming to your question. Now, you said in Enugu Metropolis, of course, we have just 3 local government. The rest are in hinterland. So one of the far-reaching media we want to use, or we are already using to reach out to them, is the radio station. The radio station has a very wide network of coverage. So we use the radio station. Of course, in Enugu State, we don't just have the ESBS. There are already radio stations we are using. Just like we are here today, tomorrow we might be in a radio station. And you yourself here might not know we are also going to other radio stations. So in the past, we've been going to radio stations. But then again, we are also printing informations that will be disseminated to the entire 17 local government and the 4,420 polling units that is in Enugu State. It will be mapped out in all the polling units. You understand? When you come to communities where those polling units are, they sufficiently base them everywhere that they need to be, so that people will be aware of what is going on in terms of plans for the election. And of course, the commission is also saddled with the responsibility to call all the political parties participating for a roundtable meeting where we will educate them.
You are yet to do this.
We will do that for the election proper. But like I said,
But has there been past engagements
Of
with
course.
some political
of
parties?
course, we have always done that. So after the primaries now and candidates emerge, that's when we can now call all the political parties' representatives or their executives. We'll sit with them and have meetings with them. They also have to be a part of this process. The commission alone cannot do this. So the commission cannot come to also tell you to go and sensitize your people. You know already that the election is forthcoming, and you also have to sensitize your people. So that engagement will throw all these issues up. So those are the ways we are trying to see we carry everybody along on this journey.
Okay, so far, Mr. Otto, I haven't even asked. There are people who will be wondering, what does it really take to be part of the election? For instance, can someone who is not from here, alright, because we are talking to people, there are lots of people who are more Enugu than people from Enugu State. Yes? Now, what does it really take for someone who wants to make things better at the local government levels, but it's not from here? Is there a process? Can they contest at this point? Is there a policy, or how do I put it? Yes, that allows them to be able to make things better at the local government level.
I don't think there's any process that allows unregistered voter to vote. For you to be qualified to vote, you must be a registered voter.
Not even voting, to
Be a participant.
be
Okay,
a participant, to be elected into office.
Okay. Anyway, I think everybody is a participant as long as you're a stakeholder. This is where we believe that all of us have interest. Okay, so electing a leader in a local government is something that everybody have to, make sure we put our heads together and elect a credible leader who will go there and do what the people want. That's just the process. So I want my
Solomon,
colleague to
speak on this.
help me
Speak
that.
on this.
Okay, all right. I would always constantly remind us about the liberality of Enugu State. Enugu State is one of the states that has been very, very, very liberal when it comes to inclusive political participation. At some point, the chief of staff to the then governor, Sullivan Chime,
I was from Abia.
is from Abia State. The last local government, of Enugu South, the lady, Sandra Onya, is from Udi local government. And she was the deputy local government chairman of Enugu South local government. If you come to Enugu North, the party chairman, Oke Ezike, is from Udi local government. So this is sufficient proof enough to tell you that you know, whether you're from here or not, provided you live here, like you said, there are people that are not from Enugu that are more Enugu than people that are from Enugu.
Yeah.
So Enugu does not have that discrimination ongoing as far as their political space is concerned. So I think Enugu is one of the states where you can beat your chest and say they allow both indigenes and non-indigenes to participate.
People that will lead us to our next generation, not people that will take us back 50 years. So last year's general election was a big lesson to everybody because we saw what nobody anticipated happening. You know, it happened so large that everybody were surprised. You know, so it makes us to believe that the people are the deciders on election days. So these people who are the deciders, they have to keep their votes intact and make sure they don't shortchange it for any kind of gift or manipulation.
Yeah, manipulation is
And
the
that
word.
sounds like a place to conclude this discussion, except if you have more sensitization points for the listener. Still with you, Honorable Ato.
We as a commission, like I said before, we are out to give the Enugu people an election they will be proud of in this coming local government election. And I said before that there won't be any shortchanging, there won't be any form of holes for rigging. We are blocking any of such, you know, so we are begging the people of Enugu to come out en masse on that very day and you know, exercise their fundamental right of voting who their local government leader is going to be. You know, so that's all I can tell them. Let them just be very, very careful with what is happening today, because when we're talking about the national protest and all, you now have to ask questions. Were they not the same people that voted them in? So you don't go and vote somebody who will not deliver services to you as their leaders. So I'm advising the Enugu people in this forthcoming election to try as much as possible to come out en masse and vote people with that sense of development in them.
Honorable Solomon, your parting words?
Well, like I said before, election is not an event. It's not a one-day event. Election is a series of processes that leads to that day's event. And for us as a commission, I think we are religiously following the processes which ultimately will lead to the D-Day, which is the 5th of October for the local government elections and the councillorship election. So if we have religiously followed these processes, you know, one thing is clear in my mind, that election will be adjourned a free, fair, and credible election.
Free, fair, and credible election. To the best of your knowledge, 5th October is sacrosanct.
Yes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being on the program. Honorable Solomon Ude, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And Honorable Ato Ede, thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much.
Both of them are commissioners at the Enugu State Independent Electoral Commission. They have come to sensitize the public on the upcoming local government elections, which will have 17 local government chairmen voted into office and 260 ward councillors voted into offices as well. And that's conducting local government elections. The issues around the preparations and the election proper was what we looked at. And as a clock 4 minutes before 11 o'clock, we're concluding this segment of our discussion. But Good Morning Coal City continues. My name is Ngozeka Mba. Good morning, Coal City.
My name is Chioma Agolama. Good morning.
People that will lead us to our next generation, not people that will take us back 50 years. So last year's general election was a big lesson to everybody because we saw what nobody anticipated happening. it happened so large that everybody were surprised. So it makes us to believe that the people are the deciders on election days. So these people who are the deciders, they have to keep their votes intact and make sure they don't shortchange it for any kind of gift or manipulation.
Yeah, manipulation is
And
the
that
word.
sounds like a place to conclude this discussion, except if you have more sensitization points for the listener. Still with you, Honorable Ato.
We as a commission, like I said before, we are out to give the Enugu people an election they will be proud of in this coming local government election. And I said before that there won't be any shortchanging, there won't be any form of holes for rigging. We are blocking any of such, so we are begging the people of Enugu to come out en masse on that very day and exercise their fundamental right of voting who their local government leader is going to be. So that's all I can tell them. Let them just be very, very careful with what is happening today, because when we're talking about the national protest and all, you now have to ask questions. Were they not the same people that voted them in? So you don't go and vote somebody who will not deliver services to you as their leaders. So I'm advising the Enugu people in this forthcoming election to try as much as possible to come out en masse and vote people with that sense of development in them.
Honorable Solomon, your parting words?
Well, like I said before, election is not an event. It's not a one-day event. Election is a series of processes that leads to that day's event. And for us as a commission, I think we are religiously following the processes, which ultimately will lead to the D-Day, which is the 5th of October, for the local government elections and the councillorship election. So if we have religiously followed these processes, one thing is clear in my mind, that election will be adjourned a free, fair, and credible election.
Free, fair, and credible election. To the best of your knowledge, 5th October is sacrosanct.
Yes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being on our program. Honorable Solomon Ude, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Honorable Ato Ede, thank you again for being here.
Thank you so much.
Both of them are commissioners at the Enugu State Independent Electoral Commission. They have come to sensitize the public on the upcoming local government elections, which will have 17 local government chairmen voted into office and 260 ward councillors voted into offices as well. And that's conducting local government elections. The issues around the preparations and the election proper was what we looked at. And as a clock 4 minutes before 11 o'clock, we're concluding this segment of our discussion. But Good Morning Coal City continues. My name is Ngozika Mba. Good morning, Coal City.
My name is Chioma Agolamba. Good morning.